very understanding wife.
You're saying your daughter turned 1 last Monday. Does her arrival make you question your role in the sport? It is a dangerous sport. Do you question that a bit more now?
I drove into Sydney. I forgot what Sydney traffic was like coming across Pyrmont Bridge. So no, it doesn't make me guess. The old scenario and the old cliches of, oh, you have a child, it slows you down. It definitely doesn't. It makes me race harder now. This is how I put food on the table. This is how I get the opportunity to spoil my daughter. I've got a 12-month-old daughter that's already done 3 trips across the Pacific and done international flights. So it doesn't slow you down. It actually has brought greater delight in my life, more stability, which doesn't really make sense when you're a race car driver. But every night that you have a bad night and you see those little teeth smiling at the end of the night, it makes you realise that life isn't all that bad.
But tell us a little bit about the injuries you've suffered over the past 10 years. I'm sure there's some horrible things.
Yeah, unfortunately I can't blame my nose on injuries, but it's just been... We've had some injuries over the years, but the worst injury, we had one crash at Eldora. It's a high-banked, high-speed... It'd be like taking a sprint car and putting it down on the Superdome down in Melbourne. And it's very high banked, and you're doing speeds of in excess of 130 mile an hour. We had a tyre explode, we hit a fence, got hit by another car and broke back, sternum, shoulder, the neck. That laid us up for 3 months, but when you race for a living and you got a bank manager knocking on the door saying, hey, how are you going to make these motorhome payments and how are you going to do this? You get back in a race car pretty quick. It's like bull riders. You don't know whether they're hurt half the time, and the only thing about sprint car drivers, they don't walk bow-legged.
As Lee mentioned, you spend a long period of time in the States each year, I think, what, for the last 16 years or so. Tell us about speedway racing in the States. How does it compare with Australia?
Anything America does is not small. They don't do it on small scale. I mean, look at the logistics of it all. Australia's population is sitting in California, basically, so they do everything full steam ahead. The World of Outlaws schedule is basically 95 to 100 races from February through to the end of October. They market it well, but as I say, when you've got a schedule that busy and you're crisscrossing across the country, when the guy set up the map and the schedule, he obviously wasn't very good at geography, because sometimes you're driving from the east to the west coast to head south to head north. So it's very popular over there. I mean, it's not as big as NASCAR, but the one thing that we're very proud of is that a lot of the American promoters and TV we produce in Australia as an entertainment. It's not just sprint car racing. You know, Speedway is like hockey. There's always razzmatazz. There's always something extra when there's a lull, and that's one of the things the Americans have definitely taken notice of what the Australians have done.
What about training? What sort of gym work, or how do you prepare to be a sprint car ace?
Now, if you would have asked me this quite a while ago, I could have given you all the training schedules, but it's more, the biggest thing is, the best thing a race car driver can do is drive a race car. You can be the most physically fit person. I mean, Wayne Gardner, a prime example. When Wayne Gardner's jumped in a sprint car, the demands of motorcycle racing, he was as fit as any triathlete that you could mention. He then jumps in a sprint car and he's wore out after 10 laps, because it's just a total difference demand. My wife and I try to get out. We do a lot of running and a lot of cycling, which basically coincides with her triathlons, but it definitely hasn't hurt sprint car racing on my own aspect. You know, some of the other guys, they're a little more laxed in their training.
How financially viable is it?
I probably don't want to comment on that because my wife doesn't see the bank account lately, but no, it can be good. It's we can make a very good living here. We could stay in Australia and make a better living than what we do crisscrossing the country because of the profile of the name Tatnell carries. But you know, we do okay. We make ends meet. There's been years where we've had great years, and then we come off a year like we've just had this year where we've run at a major loss. But you know, if you want to sit and look at the bank balance every day of the week, you drive yourself insane, and you definitely wouldn't go sprint car racing.
That's a theory I used to.
Just on a final note, out of everything you've achieved in your career, what would be the most remarkable victory?
Being a father.
Yeah?
I can honestly say that. I mean that with all my heart, and probably because my dad was so proud of me of what I've done in sprint car racing, and to see the light of him in his eyes when we brought his granddaughter home, that was probably the highlight of my career. And to win our first race when we came to Australia last year, and I brought our daughter over at 3 months, and first night out she won, and the commentator, it was never Brooke Tatnell's leading, it's Emma's dad's leading, and that was probably the biggest victory.
Well, she'll be there tomorrow night cheering you on, no doubt.
She'll be in there, and after the races, if I don't win, she'll be asking me why.
Real quickly to wrap it up, 5 World Series, 3 National Championships. What else do you have ahead?
We still want to be the best in the world, and to be the best, classified as the best in the world, you need to win the World of Outlaws Championship. Donny Schatz, who will be out here after Christmas racing at Parramatta, is the best in the world going around right now, and we've beat him time and time again. He's beat us plenty of times. He's won the championship, we haven't. So that's probably the biggest goal that I have, that I want to achieve before I hang up the helmet.
Fantastic. For anyone that wants to see you guys in action, it's Parramatta City Raceway. Gates open at 4:30, but the main racing is on at 7, so it should be good to watch.
It definitely is. I mean, if anyone loves motorsport, it doesn't matter whether it's drag racing, touring cars, come out and experience a sprint car race, and I guarantee you won't be disappointed.
Good luck, safe driving, enjoy fatherhood.
Well, we're doing it all so far.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Good on you, Brooke.
Appreciate being here.
Thank you. Well, coming up on News and Views, racing returns to Randwick.
And what about Bob? Sir Charles